en el... quiero empezar a subir, estoy empezando a subir una serie que es solo para YouTube, ¿vale? Que no está acá. Sí, ustedes se ponen a ver como el bot, solo el bot. Ok, deja de mandar esto a la cresta, bla bla bla. Lo último que quedé creo que fue justo cuando, no sé si quedé justo cuando Jeremy, creo que es el que se llama el locutor, mandó toda la puta. Y... o un poquito después de eso, pero vamos a seguir. Ok, sigamos. No sé qué se vendrá ahora. Día 296, cool. 97, una cinta que recordar. Te despiertas pero sigues en un estado de shock por lo que viste en las noticias anoche. Lo que tuviste que editar en las noticias anoche. Cuando vas al piso de abajo, tu familia está sentada en el salón esperándote. Te sientas de Sam y sucio en el sofá. Sam traga salida y duda antes de empezar a hablar. Estábamos tan preocupados por ti anoche, por lo de Jeremy y todo lo que ocurrió. Sam niega la cabeza. Me pregunto qué harán con él. ¿Tú estás bien? Lo encerrarán y no los culpo, la verdad. No deja pensar que a lo mejor tiene razón. A lo mejor sí tiene razón, po. Sam mira a los niños y luego mira, te vimos que tomaste las decisiones de poner la cinta, pausa antes de continuar, y yo no podía dejar de preguntarme el motivo. Creo que era lo correcto, creo que no tenía otra opción. La verdad no tenía mucha opción porque Jeremy andaba con una pistola y podía matar a alguien. No sabía si le iba a hacer o no. Creo que no tenía otra opción. ¿Qué? A mí eso no me vale. Los de descripciones son los malos. No me puedo creer que hayas hecho eso. El arrebato de Charlie viene de la nada y nadie parece estar preparado para afrontarlo. La verdad que Charlie es mírico. ¿Acaso piensas que cómo afecta estas cosas a la gente? No se puede ser más puto gilipollas. Saben, te terminé para Charlie ya se ha ido cerrando de un portazo. Para Charlie nunca ha habido grises en este tipo de temas. Si te sirve de algo, Alex, creo que era una situación insoportable y que fuera como fuera conseguiste tomar la decisión correcta. Santa gracias. Puta, gracias, Sam, la puta madre. Solo que tuviste que tomarla estando en ese estudio y sin poder salir. Nadie puede criticar lo que hiciste y a mí me llena de orgullo. Nunca había sentido tanto lío de contar con el apoyo de Sam. Puta, es mi esposa, por hermano, weón. What the fuck. Respiras hondo e intentas poner en orden tus días. Tus ideas. Tienes demasiadas cosas que asimilar. Aún no has procesado de todo se le ocurrió anoche y menos aún lo que opina Charlie sobre el tema. Calma, que no sé si esta voz te escucha. Calma. Ya se te escucha. Ok, mira a tu hija. Sé que es algo muy complicado y que no siempre estamos de acuerdo, pero creo que tomaste la decisión correcta. Susi te sonríe. Tenías que poner la cinta, no te queda otra. La rodeas con el brazo y le das una chuchón llena de cariño. Menos mal que al menos tienes compañía. En la tele dan una peli de vaqueros, pero no consigues traerte tanto que te gustaría. Era imposible de complacer a todo el mundo. No, pues era imposible. Jamás voy a poder complacer a todo el mundo en esas cosas, en general. Con la vida. Ya 324. ¿Una decisión cuestionable? Hoy sales antes del trabajo y ocurre una con tan poca frecuencia que te da un subidón de energía. Cuando cierras la puerta de la entrada, oye una conversación animada que proviene de la cocina. Alguien ha venido a tomar algo algo en el viernes de descanso de Sam. Ojalá puedas queden un par de galletas. Atrás de Sam, Susie y reír mientras hablan de algo. En cuanto tu hija te ve, te gira y te enseña la mano emocional. Lleva un niño y mate. ¡Sech me ha pedido la mano! Estamos prometidos. Ay, madre, qué buena noticia. No sé cómo hablar de ti. Vaya, no, un poco pronto. Al final la pareja se queda a cenar. No ha tardado mucho en mudarse, pero cuando la persona es la adecuada lo sabes. Pase lo que pase, te alegras por ella. Pase lo que pase, siempre estarás a su lado. Pues sí, pues sí, es mi hija, por hermano. No jodas. Día 360. Una carga impuesta. Hace 6 meses que Sam y tú hablasteis de los gastos médicos de tu madre, que parece subir como la espuma. Y para colmo, a pesar de que Emma era muy es muy agradable, sus servicios son tan caros como temíais. Te cuesta creer que haya pasado ya tanto tiempo, pero las sanciones se empiezan a afectaros. Y por desgracia, la única solución que ofrece el gobierno para ayudar a los ancianos convalecientes es enviarla al centro de transición. ¿Por qué todo que tiene que ver con el dinero? Buena pregunta. Esta vez es San quien te encuentra a ti entre un mar de facturas y documentos en la mesa de cocina. Hoy ya hemos dicho que no podéis hacer nada más. La única opción es un tratamiento nuevo, caro y experimental, que a lo mejor ni siquiera funciona. Hay veces que tu madre quiere el tratamiento, pero en ocasiones también habla de visitar el centro de transición. Es un poco difícil saber qué es lo que quiere de verdad. Sam deja una mano sobre la tuya. ¿Qué hacemos, cariño? Es tu madre, te toca tomar la decisión. Dudo que quiera seguir viviendo así. Sé que es duro, pero ya es viendo hora de que vaya a hacer la transición. Es mi madre, tengo que hacer todo lo que podamos. Paguemos los tratamientos. A ver, el dinero que tengo es que literalmente me puedo permitir todo. O sea, podemos intentarlo. Y tampoco creo que sea mejor seguir viendo así. Pero como están en proceso de cuestionar, intentémoslo. Y si no, bueno, la mierda. Dinero actual, vacaciones. Bueno. Es una decisión difícil. Nunca sabes cuánto te podría hacer falta tu necesidad, sobre todo para los niños. ¿Qué pasa si sales y te necesitas y si teniendo la casa de Sachi y Susi necesitas ayuda? Pero ¿y si pudiera regalar un año más con su abuelita? Seguro que vale la pena el precio. Si se muere, puta, era la huevo. Pero hay que intentarlo. Se puede que podría permitírmelo todo, así que... ¿Para qué quiero tanto plata, la verdad? Si no, pues nos para ayudar al... mi madre o lo que sea. La guerra de las 20. Ok. Ahora sí, no sé.
So, Julia's team have asked me to ask you to keep it light. Well, what does that mean?
Okay.
See that thing you do where you turn politicians into humans?
What the fuck? ¿Qué es esto?
Talking about the war. They do know this is the
Oh, Dios, son demasiadas cosas, calmado.
You didn't hear this from me, but... Apparently, there's a crew at Team HQ right now.
Pero supongo que acá me dirán que puedo hacer planos o cosas interesantes, lo que sea.
Brains when we get the performing monkey. Sometimes you sound just like him, you know. How are you?
Oye, que es temprano, güey.
Elizabeth.
10 seconds, everybody. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Good evening. This is the National Nightly News. I'm Megan Wolf. It's the 140th day of war. Our main headlines tonight. Company of Heroes. Skirmishes on land and sea again today as our armed forces tested the mettle of the World Council's illegal blockade. Advance's strategy of multiple small-scale incursions into the disputed zone is certainly keeping the enemy on high alert.
Okay,
Unable to work out where or when the next strike will come. Proud parents throughout the territory find themselves ever more impressed by the bravery and commitment of their incredible children and the job they're doing keeping supply lines open against all possible odds.
Okay.
Don't starve. Advance's food programme moved from strength to strength today as rationing depots were opened in the last remaining unfed areas of the territory. The rationing depots have been constructed in record time and the government's agricultural coordination strategy is restocked with increasing regularity. However, with a reported rise in mental and physical health issues since the introduction of the blockade, critics have questioned whether those smaller communities which are only now starting to receive help could have been better and quicker served. 7 days to die. The recent decision to allow those with long-term health conditions to access transition centres has today been declared an overwhelming success. Previously available only to those in their final years, the expansion of the service has been met with relief by the many organisations calling for it to be opened up to the wider community. With dwindling medical supplies leaving many of our most vulnerable facing chronic pain, it can come as no surprise that the transition centres have found themselves stretched to capacity. Populace. More than 11% of the population have thus far failed to register for a teen membership card, a worrying statistic given that the cards are a legal requirement from midnight tonight. While applications are still open for those who like to run fashionably late, they can expect a few tricky questions from Advance. Start me up.
Lo que es no obligatorio, obligatoriamente no obligatorio.
Large crowds gathered to hear the band speaker prove Disrupt are still able to capture the public's imagination. Community cohesion officers found themselves challenged by the unruly mob element always present at Disrupt events, but thankfully managed to keep violent incidents to a minimum.
Okay.
And finally tonight, our mutual friend. Bail was denied in the High Court today for shamed former National Nightly News anchor Jeremy Donaldson. The presenter will be transferred to new lodgings at Penton Ridge Prison, while the lengthy preparations for his trial, which is still 18 months away, begin. Since being taken into custody 10 weeks ago in this very studio, little has been heard from our former colleague. Despite how things ended, we wish him the best, and we'll be sure to bring you all the details of that.
En realidad, puta, Jeremy, bueno, era el mejor, no jodas.
But first this evening, with the war about to enter its 21st punishing week, and people hurting up and down the country, I'll be grilling unpredictable Prime Minister Peter Clement in an exclusive interview from his home in Lanfordshire. That's coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Ok. ¿Qué le pasa al weón del 2? Este weón está loco, wey. Está quedando la cagada, hermano.
In part 2, I'm a little overexcited to announce I'll be interviewing the one and only Lil C. And later we've got a new feature that's sure to keep you coming back for more. But first tonight, let's check in with Prime Minister Peter Clement, who's speaking to us from his home in Lanfordshire. Good evening, Prime Minister. Have we caught you exercising?
Oh, have we started? Yes, that's right, Miss Wolf. Just a few minor adjustments. I mean, nothing drastic. I haven't joined the gym or anything. As my old man used to say, just because she won't take it up the shit, it doesn't mean you shouldn't try for a quick fiddle at the car park.
Language, Prime Minister.
What? Quick fiddle? What's wrong?
Oye, este es retraso mental.
Oh, shitter. It's shitter, isn't it? Yep, that's the one.
And can you tell us what brought about this new you?
Well, you know, Mrs. C and I, you know, the night the blockade began, when Jeremy Donaldson, well, you know, and they were blistering hot, as I'm sure you all
¿Cómo hago esto?
and I were a bit wheezy from all the cigars and all that. And Mrs. C turns to me after.
Espérate, ¿cómo hago esto?
And she were in flood.
Relax some of that disrupt propaganda out. Try not to do that, Alex. We're watching you.
¿Cómo chucha lo hago, güey?
So I made a decision. And since that day, I have stopped smoking cigars. Except for Christmas. Like birthdays. Weddings. State dinners. I suppose I can't excuse.
Ya lo mantengo en el blanco, supongo.
And apparently I'm going on a walking holiday this Christmas.
Oye, pero sé que no estoy ni prestando atención.
Did you make the decision to holiday within the country this winter because of the blockade, Prime Minister?
Well, Mrs. C has never liked travelling at the best of times. These are certainly not the best of times. On that we can all agree. And there's a lot of
Fíjate, estoy más pendiente de esta weá que escucharle.
I'm sure you're all aware. I said those farmers are bastard now.
All in it together.
What? All in it together. Oh yeah. Also, It doesn't seem very advanced to be going abroad when the rest of the country is grounded.
And yet, Julia Salisbury announced today that she'll be visiting Svenland during this year's winter break. Is that really an example of team spirit?
What? Did you know
Ah,
about
fuck.
this, Gail?
No one tells me anything, Peter. You should know that.
What did you know?
Well, leaving that for a moment, it says on this card that a body like yours must take some planning to
Quédate arriba,
achieve.
arriba,
Some morning
arriba.
routine.
Well, I have a frigid morning.
Ya entendí cómo hacerlo.
Frigid, for fuck's sake! Oh,
Ok, cool.
a rigid and demanding plan that my doctor and personal trainer
Who's your personal trainer?
some prick called Clark. Is that on your card?
I thought you might wonder. Prime Minister, speaking of planning, with the blockade in its 20th week and the people of this country reeling from its effects, what plans do you have to get us out of this mess?
Well, that's a very blunt question, Miss
Surely
Wolf.
one for which you, the democratically elected Prime Minister, must have an answer.
Don't you get smart with me, Pat.
Oye,
I
cállese.
was a fucking national treasure before you were a twin.
Tú eres un retrasado mental, weón.
You want to talk about plans? Let me tell you about plans. That's all we do. Fucking plans and revise plans and then meetings to discuss the
Okay.
implementation of plans and
Understood,
plans and yet
Prime
more planning for fucking plans and yet more fucking plans.
Well, that's good. That's good to know, Prime
Do you
Minister.
know, I used to really like you, Pat. You were
What?
fresh air. But I've been watching you, and you know what? You get more like him every day.
What?
I will take that as a compliment. Prime Minister, later on this evening, your co-leader Julia
El primer
Salisbury will give a
ministro
national
vale
address
callan
for
pa.
voters. Can you give us a hint of what she's going to say?
Yes. Well, I imagine that there
Sorry,
will be
you
the
imagine?
usual. No, what I mean is,
You do know about this broadcast, don't you, Prime Minister?
I'm sure I did. But Julia and I have no secrets from each other. We don't memorize each other's bloody diaries either. As my old mum used to say, if you wanted to get a job done quick, don't get bogged down in the pubes. What else you got?
Sorry?
Only cards, what else? A little piece of my life you want to rustle through? Get out, refill my last.
No para acá.
Ah, come on. Come on.
Okay. What music do you listen to when you work out?
Well, Gail tells me that I work out to Little C, but I have absolutely no fucking idea who that is.
Pero weón, qué wea.
Do you think the C stands for?
It stands for collaborative, Prime Minister.
Yeah, actually, that does make more sense, actually.
How's rationing affecting you?
It's hard, but we get by. You just have to learn to get by on the basics. Take comfort in each other. I've got Mrs. C and many a fine single malt. I want for nothing.
Ok.
Except for a decent night's sleep, of course.
Prime Minister, thank you for joining us. When we come
Pues porque
back,
todo el mundo
it's
está
time for the culture spot with Lil C and a world premiere performance of
hablando de
Lil C.
Lucy.
I genuinely can't wait to hear that. We'll be back after this.
1 minute back, everybody.
And that is what happens when you wander from the car.
I don't think he knew about her statement.
Mhm.
Embolism.
I'm in trouble.
Bozeman? Nah, you're like a daughter you never had.
Oye, si Bozeman, digo, nunca jamás la vida visto a Bozeman.
Who's Lil C?
Or if there's any justice, me.
Who's Lil C?
You winding me up?
What? I'm civilized. I read books.
Que mierda, yo tampoco, que yo todavía quiero saber qué en verga. Oración, estoy bien. A más, a plus.
You'll no doubt have spotted the updated mixing disc.
Sí, la ve.
Buttons during the next sections. First, we'll need applause when the guest enters and before her song. Don't worry, I'll walk you through it when we get there.
Ok. ¿Esta será? No me creo. ¿Qué es esto, güey? Sé que nunca me he puesto así como bien ver qué chucha esto.
I've never heard of her before.
Oh, she's big, really big.
Really? Is she any good?
Nah, of course not. She dog shit. My kids go mad for her, absolutely mad.
Live in 10 seconds.
Hang on, Colin, you've got kids.
Yeah, I've got about 6 or 7, I think.
What?
5, 4, 3.
What?
Thanks for coming back. Later, we have an exciting new feature that we just know you're going to love, so stay tuned for that. But first, I'm really excited for our next guest. She rose to prominence as the delightful Susie May in All My Daughter's
Okay.
Children's Men, before taking the music industry by storm this year with her debut album smashing the chart records at the age of just 20. Let's give it up and welcome Lil C!
Okay.
May I just say, you look incredible.
Oh, thanks, babe. I'm doing this new regime and it really does work.
What's the regime?
Yay.
She suggested it to me. It basically involves bathing in like cabbage water and then having the leaves sucked out of you while you sleep.
Wow, is that healthy?
Oh, look at me, Meg. The leaves are my only nourishment.
Yep, they certainly are. Now, you'll have to forgive me, but I'm somewhat of a super fan, so I'm sorry.
No tenía idea de quién era.
Oh, bless you. I've never actually heard of you before, so if you do get a little tongue-tied, I can always carry the interview.
Oh, that's good to know. So your first album, F My Face Together, it hit shelves this summer and it just exploded.
Okay.
What's that like for you?
Bonkers, just so weird. I was in all the papers and the magazines. Overnight, I went from that like annoying little girl from that show to that like sexy little girl from that show.
Wow, that must have been bizarre.
Not really. It was just like any other morning. You know, get up at 5, go on a 4
¿Qué está
mile
hablando?
run, have 3 meetings on my cabbage bath, but then only then was my dad actually talking to me.
Oh, of course. I mean, the famed country singer, Billy Bob Jean Short. I didn't know you'd been estranged.
There's nothing that strange about it, Megan. Okay, yes, he may believe that aliens told him to hate women, but there really isn't anything to prove that he's wrong.
What?
So, this newfound explosion into your popularity, I mean, did that change your life?
Well, I had to start wearing like nicer underwear, you know, for the paparazzi. But as my manager says, best to make the most of it before I'm 30.
Is that right?
Ajá.
What's the album about?
So I thought it was about like how pretty and great I am, but actually it's about monetizing youth, I think, or about like promoting an unrealistic standard of youth.
¿Cómo no sabí que...?
Your manager again.
Yeah, he says insecurity is an opportunity.
Oh.
Sí, eso
I'm
mismo.
happy with you telling us all this.
Telling you all what? It really doesn't matter what I say here. I'll do my dancing and then this part will all be forgotten about.
Oh.
Bueno, sí.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're going to see some of those famous dance moves very shortly because you're going to be performing your new single, aren't you?
Yeah, it's from my album Put It In My A Together and it's out tomorrow.
After the last one.
Oh yeah, I've actually released 2 albums since lunchtime and a clothing line during this interview. See, this is called Cry for Help and it's going to be in all the best high street and retailer shops and it's out now. So girlies, you know what to do. Scream and cry until somebody gets it for you.
Ooh. There she goes.
There she go. No te lo vimos, ni lo vimos.
All these projects, they're keeping you very busy, aren't they? It must be tough.
Yeah, it can get tough and I hate it sometimes and I hate myself. I just want to like cry into a bath of root veg. But then I think thousands of girls would do anything to be me, so I must be quite lucky.
Well,
Yay.
you know you don't have to do this, though, don't you?
Yeah, I do think that sometimes. Most nights between like my 4th vodka and the 8th time a stranger slaps me around the arse. I think things could have been different, you know, like better. But I don't know. I love doing autographs and having somebody dress me and tell me what
Ok, no me están viendo el
Did you always want to do music?
well, ever since I was a little girl, I'd sit in front of the radio, and as soon as my favourite girl group would come on, I press record on my cassette.
Very
my
good.
dad would come in and tell me to turn it off and to go back upstairs and start practicing again.
Oh, sorry, is your dad your manager?
Yeah, which can be tough, and sometimes when it gets really hard, he'll say, "Make Quagler proud, and you might just survive childbirth."
Well,
What?
by anything, you'll make me proud.
Oh, if only your opinion was as valuable as his.
And on that problematic note, you're going to be singing your song for us soon, aren't you? Tell me about it.
So it's called These Babies Gonna Bring You Home, and I actually got sent the lyrics in the car on the way up here. You know what? It's actually alright.
What the fuck?
All my work is team approved.
All
Oh,
right then.
yay,
Well,
cool.
you can go and get ready for that. We'll see you in a little bit. It was a very...
Es que hermano, ¿qué le pasa?
And I just can't wait to hear this. Oh, so, here is Elsie with an exclusive first performance of her new track, These Babies Gonna Bring You Home. Take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Force's favorite,
Ok.
the Queen of Team, here to break in your blockades. Lil C.
Oh baby, can't you see I'm hungry? There's a place in me that's empty. I want that meat you're packing. Only you can fill that crack in me.
Estoy tratando de que...
To see, so come and free me. Ain't no disruption here, boy. I got no agenda. Just want the team and me. No dirty foreign member. Don't stop no morning drill. There's holes in me that ain't been filled yet. I only scream this loud when you do your country proud. I ain't no baker's daughter. Common Spanish on my border. Quick before I get much older. Time
Hermano.
for me like an enemy soldier. An enemy soldier. So let them try and break our dream. We fight and love and die at team. So what a Peter Clemens boys can come and use me as a toy. I wanna see some action. So come and break my sanctions.
¿Cómo que no se volvió el ritmo?
I've been this wild and free since Mom unburdened me. She was only 53, but gave to save her family. There's no one judging me if I'm the one that's in your fantasy. Don't die alone, these babies gonna bring you home. I ain't no liquor's daughter, common Spanish on my border. Quick before I get much older, tie me down and pull me like an enemy soldier.
No puedo hablar, pero que fue.
Enemy soldier.
Hola, Andy.
So what if Peter Clemens boys can come and use me
Hermano, weón. Iba al ritmo y no me jodas antes. Hermano, estoy en el ritmo.
I wanna see some action, so come and break my sanctions.
No entiendo nada de lo que está pasando, weón.
Well, if that doesn't distract you from the world outside, I don't know
What the
will.
fuck?
I'd like to thank Lil C for, well, for doing that. Don't go anywhere. After the break, we'll finally be reviewing the new segment of our show that we just know you're going to love. We'll be back right after this.
And we're out.
Güey, qué estúpido. Te estaba haciendo bien con el... Con el ritmo, no jodas.
Say, thank you so much for letting me do this. It really means a lot to me, you know.
Yeah.
To be able to promote myself.
La cara de ella, güey.
Platform like the news.
Well, don't worry about it. And you know what? Good luck for the future. Take care of yourself. This industry can be crazy sometimes. Watch out for that father of yours. Won't you?
Oh, no. I manage myself. It's just, you know, for the public to have that certain perspective. You know what it's like.
Oh, right.
And
Cool.
Michael?
What was
Michael?
What
Qué
about
verga, Michael.
Bob Jean Short is he?
Oh, my dad. He's such a sweetheart. We both had the same agents, you know, like it just made sense. Both of us for our image together.
Wow.
And Michael, I want to see the revenue share for the clothing line and get me a G&T before my meeting with the lube guys. If they say for your pleasure, I'm going to stop needing it.
Güey, ya, güey, tengo que volver a hacer lo que...
Around these sound effects, Alex, because
No.
Time they light up, listen to the actors and try and pick the most appropriate effect.
Ah.
Hear your choices, so let's not upset them when they watch it back later.
Do I look like the sort of person who
Oh,
counts
puro
things?
hueones me tocan el hoyo.
No, not anymore. I'm better than that now. I'll tell you what. Just keep adding flowers until it feels like 12. Got it?
Absolutely, right away. 10 seconds.
Ah, fuck.
5, 4.
Ok, se viene.
Thanks for joining
Hola.
us for part 3. We've been teasing you about our new feature all night, and now the wait is finally over. I can reveal that every night on the show, we'll be treated to an episode of an informative and hilarious new segment called The Notice Board. It stars some top talent, and we're very excited about it. But before we see it, let's have a quick chat with the writer, director, and phenomenon, may I say, Jeff Algebra, guys.
Actually, I've dropped the algebra.
Bien.
I go by Jeff DeBoon now. How'd you like that?
Yeah, very fancy. I suppose you need a new name now that you're a successful artiste.
Well, exactly. I'm earning enough to pay taxes now.
Oh,
Cool.
and how does Angela feel about all this?
Who?
Your wife.
Ah!
Oye, el verga grande, weón.
No, she's long gone. No, she was holding me back. I'm with Norm now. We were married last month.
¿Qué mierda es Norm?
Norm de Plume.
Yeah.
And why did you write this? What was your inspiration?
Well, I received a telephone call offering me 25 grand to write a pro-team sitcom, and I heard my father's voice. It said, Jeff, you listen here, boy. You make hay while the sun shines. You wring every penny you can get out of this.
Cool.
So I wheeled him down to the transition centre, got out my typewriter and started clacking. Utter shite.
And without further ado, let's give it up for the notice board.
Jolly good. Excellent, you're a natural.
Alright, ok, cool.
Good morning,
Hola.
Miss Craven.
Oh, morning, Ray.
Everything all right, Mrs. Craven?
Ah.
You look as worried as the vicar in closing time.
La risa enlatada, güey.
It's those young louts. They've vandalized my shop again.
No!
Yes!
¿Por qué la llave?
In all sorts of obscene language and crude pictures, and I know it's those damn youths.
I don't know. It could be the vicar at closing time.
Oh, por Dios, que esto es horrible.
Worried they won't ever become productive members of the community. What if they never see the error of their ways and end up as social outcasts, such as shoplifters or bong rats?
Don't worry, Mrs. Craven. This is a very supportive community, and I'm sure that in time they will fit into this society
Yeah.
like this key into this lock.
¿Cuál? Porque hay que ponerle. No voy a decir nada. Hay que...
See? Works like a charm.
What a lovely way to put it, Ray. And just like that, we can unlock their future.
Yes, yes. Wow!
Wow.
Look at all the letters in my collection today.
Oh, I think that one's addressed to me.
Bueno, tiene sentido esto.
This one? Oh, so you're right. Here it is.
It's a letter from my granddaughter, Brenda.
She says she got an A on her
Uh-huh.
maths exam because one of her friends has been helping her.
Cool.
She was always a team player, was our Brenda.
What's up, losers?
¿Quién verga eres vos?
Oh, no. It's Brad. He's the coolest guy in the village.
I just got here on my motorbike.
Oh, clear off, Brad. We don't want any of your ilk around here.
What? Brad dudes?
No, ruffians. Have you come to tag the notice board with your gang signs?
No way. I've actually come. My resume on that notice board. I'm looking to do some tutoring after school.
What did you say? Tutoring?
That's right. Maths is very important. Would you mind, Ray?
Not at all.
Bueno, me cargan la risa en la tablet. Es como que no te dan ningún sentido de risa. Es como que te obligan a decir, ahí está el chiste.
Have been spending your time helping others and not just urinating on churches or huffing glue?
Hey, I haven't huffed glue for months.
Well, blow me down!
You know what? We misjudged you based on how young and cool you are and not on your actions.
No doy.
So it wasn't you who vandalized my shop last night or called me a rancid old crone from the back of a chopper?
No way. It can't have been me. I was too busy helping my friend Brenda with her maths homework.
Up there? I thought for a minute there that you said Brenda.
I did, you daft old sow.
Did you hear that, Ray?
Oh, yes, what a wonderful surprise. I now respect you as a man.
Put her there, Ray.
Okay, what?
Oh, what the heck? Give us a hug.
Coche, tu madre. Cagamos, está terremoteando. Afírmate, culiado, debajo de la mesa, weón. Te empezará a temblar. Afírmate, culiado. Oh, explotó la wea. Afírmate, weón. Era, pues, fuimos grandes. Concha tu madre. Me asusté. Holy shit.
Sorry to interrupt the first groundbreaking episode of the notice board, but we're receiving some breaking news.
Literalmente explotó todo.
I'm being told we're picking up reports from across the continent of what appear to be...
¿Te lo mató?
Oh god, what appear to be nuclear explosions
chucha.
in 4 major foreign cities.
Nucleares
Initial
explotares.
estimates put the death toll into the millions. I'm being told that we're experiencing some power fluctuations as a result, so apologies to any interruption to the broadcast for you at home.
And now?
Now I am told that we are going live to team headquarters for an emergency broadcast from Prime Minister Julia Salisbury at any moment. Yes, let's go to that now.
Good evening, citizens and leaders.
Está la cagada, weón. Pero no le vamos a decir que está la cagada porque pero está la cagada.
Operatives working for Advance detonated nuclear explosives simultaneously.
Como simultánea, pues, hermano.
Cities across the continent.
Hermano.
We have similar devices in 58 other urban centers and will not hesitate to detonate them if our conditions are not met in full and without delay. The people of our territory will no longer tolerate your illegal and genocidal blockade.
Hermano, para tirar bombas nucleares es que no es como bombas nucleares.
We will accept nothing less than your unconditional surrender.
Desde antes de 4
Your
amenazas y
territories will
bueno.
be taken under our control. We will install replacement governments to ensure that your citizens become part of the new future. Your borders are now our borders. Your people are our people. will finally be fed and clothed and educated and healed.
¿Por qué ahora eso, güey?
But for your privileged few, the moment that they feared is now upon them. Allow me to be crystal clear. If you fire a single shot at our territory, or harm a single one of our citizens, we will not hesitate to detonate further devices. You will not find them, though no doubt you are already searching for them. Our technology is decades ahead of yours. We will expect your complete acceptance of our terms by midnight tonight. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, okay, so there you have it. Advance making a brave move that looks likely to end the war in this, its 20th week.
Shit.
There's a lot to take in here, and I know you, like me, will be wondering if this is too much. If we've gone too far. But I'm thinking of our sick and ill, denied their medicines. The children with no food on their plates, and the body bags returning from the front line. And I ask myself if without some big, bold gesture it would ever stop, and I do not think it ever would. We elected Advance to make this country better for us all, and it was working. But then the rest of the world looked at us and they said this cannot be seen to succeed. And they brought their warships and their tanks and their planes just to make sure that we were instead seen to suffer. To make sure no one anywhere would ever attempt this again. So, to my mind, our government have taken the only path available to them. A difficult decision for their hearts to bear, but one that ultimately we can respect, because it is designed to keep us safe. And while this is unquestionably a dark night, it may indeed presage the dawn of a new future. My name's Megan Wolf. Let's make tomorrow better.
And we're out.
Do you ever get the feeling that we're making history?
Mano, misión finalizada, continuar. Complete the broadcast late 371 el LOL. Me subieron. Empiezas a acumular riqueza. Bien, porque necesito plata. No entiendo esta... Ah, shit. Ok. Si lo que sigue no es un... Ok, lo voy a dejar hasta acá. Realmente.